So I've been using AI recently to do the heavy lifting for my negative keyword analysis. You can see here, I've run all of my search terms through AI to get a really detailed rationale on keywords that we should add as a negative. And it will literally tell me like, we don't offer this service, therefore you should consider making this a negative keyword, or the cost per click is very high versus the account medium. And it will take all of these signals into account along with a ton of context about your specific project and your customers, again, which AI automatically generates. So I'm going to show you how to set this all up and get it going in about 10 minutes. For your own projects on Google Ads, all you need is an OpenAI or an Anthropic API key, because obviously you need to spend your own credits getting AI to analyze all this stuff for you, and I can't afford that. So I'm going to show you exactly how to jump in and do that now. Okay, here's a step-by-step guide on how to run the negative keyword agent to produce really good AI-driven negative keyword suggestions and analysis. So I'm just going to go step by step, exactly how to go through it, how it works. So you'll see the template here. So just, has nothing filled in there. First of all, make a copy. So when you hit make a copy, it'll say here app script file and functionality will be copied. So please review the attached script. I've already made a copy here, so we'll exit off that one. The only required things that you need to fill in at this point are these 5. I mean, these 2 at the top should be filled in already. If you're using GPT-5, great. If you're using Claude, then you'll need to change that to like Sonnet 4.5 or whatever the model you're using. And this is very important. You want to grab your API key from the OpenAI website. Now, some people I've tested this with mustn't have the, like an accurately up-to-date working API key. So just make sure that you're paying for the right subscription and that's working, because that can sometimes be a pitfall. But you'll be able to test that and know very early on if that's working correctly. Then you're going to want to add in the target URL. So that will correspond to the set of search terms you want to analyze. So I'll show you what I mean. For this example, I'm analyzing a campaign which sends all of the traffic to a generic accommodation page. So this is my landing page for the campaign. Sorry, not that page. This is the landing page for the campaign that I want to analyze. So all the traffic is going to this one landing page. Now this works best when you're just analyzing one landing page at a time. You can do full account negatives, but it's very hard to know, is this actually irrelevant, because there might be a page on your website where traffic is relevant. So I strongly recommend doing this for just one landing page and making sure that you export corresponding keywords in your account for that landing page. So this is for an ad group we send traffic to called Hen Party Houses Exact. And to export the search terms that I want to analyze, I go to search terms. I've filtered for the last 90 days because, to be honest, there is not a huge amount of clicks here, 800 clicks, not a huge amount of spend. And I just download the set of keywords I want to analyze on Google Ads, export that as a CSV. Now, once you've exported that and you paste it, this is just the default setting from Google Ads. It'll look something like this. So I want to take that, copy it all, and after I've filled in these fields, that's all I need to do at this point in time. Then I'm going to go over to raw export here, and I'm just going to paste in the first box here and remove the top 2 rows. So I've removed those top 2 rows. Now I'm going to try and run this. It should ask me for permissions initially. Let's see. Yes, authorization required. So that's fine. We'll go okay. I'm just going to select all just to allow the script to work through here. And it's working now. It's working fine. So it's normalized 393 rows into terms. So we should have all of our terms here now. So again, I just press this button, normalize Google Ads export to terms. So we have all of these keywords now that we're going to run through the negative keyword analyzer. So the next step is we'll go back to our config file, and there's all of this information here in the strategy settings that we want to fill in. But we have a nice little tool, so we don't have to do this. We can let AI fill this in. So we're going to come down now and press let AI autofill context. So what that's going to do is the AI is going to go out and discover everything it can about this landing page, this business, because we really need the context in there. Otherwise, how is AI going to possibly understand what could be deemed a negative keyword? I'm going to pause the video for a minute. This just takes, a minute or 2 to run. I'll come back in a second. Okay, so the AI has filled everything in here now for us. So we have everything we need. You can add existing negatives. I tend not to, just because it's set only to analyze keywords which are have clicks or up to 20 impressions or more. So if I've already added something as a negative keyword, I shouldn't have to include it here because it shouldn't be in that search term report. This is only really for if you're doing this, regularly on a weekly basis, and you might want to include some existing negatives as well. So the AI won't give you any duplicate suggestions, but really there's no harm in leaving this blank. So now we're ready to go. We just want to hit run analysis, the run analysis button here. This is probably going to take, it will create this output underscore flock project first. So whatever your project name is, it will generate that output for you. And you can see in the logs here if it's actually working. We can see, yes, batch 1 out of 10. It's analyzing 185 search terms from a total of 393. That's just because 200 or so of those search terms we've deemed irrelevant because they might have 5 impressions and 0 clicks. We only want to analyze things that have got either 1 click or more or 20 impressions or more. So yeah, that's just to save on efficiency and AI processing power. So this is all running. This will normally take about 10 minutes to go all the way through those 200 search terms. And after that's complete, we should see the output in here. The system will now in fact show us the results in batches. So after the AI has analyzed the first 20 keywords, you should see the results in here. So I'm just going to pause this until we see the first batch. It should just be 30 seconds or so from now. And here's one I actually just ran earlier, so you can see how the formatting looks. I paused this one as it was running, but at the end it will filter everything accordingly. So it'll have all your recommended negatives at the top and your definite waste keywords, and then it'll have monitor, and then at the very bottom it'll have keep. So this will be, and of course you can sort this yourself because it's in spreadsheet format. For each keyword analyzed, it'll have a category, so definite waste, suggested negative for you to add, the match type, what level you should add the negative at. It'll give you a confidence score. How confident is the AI that this is in fact a negative keyword? And it'll have a rationale as well. So, competitor brand or policy blocks competitor terms. In this case, you can change that in the settings. The cost per click is near the account median. This one here, LinkedIn ads platform, we don't manage paid ads, so this is irrelevant. And the signals column, services not offered, paid ads platform, so it's a mismatch. And the cost per click is high versus the account. So it gives a lot of reasoning and explanation. Some small things that you may want to do to improve output is to include a target CPA. So if you know what your rough target CPA is, include it there. If you know what your expected conversion rate is, include that. Again, that will just give more context to the AI, be able to say, okay, this could be worth testing this keyword because actually we might be able to get conversions are close to the target CPA, but if it's a very expensive keyword and it's quite irrelevant, then it'll have a better understanding and say, no, this is actually way off. So you can add those things in. I have this set to allow competitor terms to false, so do not allow competitor traffic. But if you're happy to bid on competitor traffic, you can change this to true. In this case, there's just way too many competitors and it'll just waste a lot of spend for this particular example we have here. So yeah, those are just some ideas. If you want to completely clear that, you can. If you want to run it again, but for a different campaign or project, just go back to config. You can clear and refresh the config template, which will do this, and you can input all of your own details, your new details in here. You'll still have the output from the last project down at the bottom, but if you generate this again for a new project, it will generate another output tab at the bottom. So it just means you can use the same sheet for as many projects as you want, which is quite helpful. Let me know if you have any questions at all on how this process works. Again, the ultimate goal is to generate an AI-driven AI-driven analysis of negative keywords. So hopefully you can find more wasted spend inside your Google Ads account. And here is the other outputs coming through now for the other project. Again, with actions, what's a good keyword, what should I monitor, etc. So yeah, it's all coming through now. If you do, small thing, if you've seen my API key at all, don't worry, by the time you've watched this video, I have deleted that API key, so it doesn't matter, but obviously grab your own API key for this. You can monitor your own usage as well, but keep your own API keys private. Let me know how you get on. If there are issues, you can often check in logs. So if there is an error, it should come up in the logs tab. What you can do then is if you come across an error, you can actually run that through Claude or ChatGPT. So paste the entire code that you use. So for example, if you go to app scripts, you can just do you can just copy all of this over and just say, listen, here's the script I was using, here is the log which saying there's an error, can you fix this for me? And AI can actually, usually 9 times out of 10, actually 99 times out of 100, fix that issue for you. So yeah, those are just a few additional tips. So let me know what you think and what results you get from the output.